Audio. Okay, do we have sound now? Do we have sound now? Okay, do we have sound now? I think we've got sound. Excellent. Well, hello everybody. Let me turn it off on my mobile. Okay, good. So I'm going to try and do a bit of a test of Staffordshire Black. Can't promise it's going to be particularly scientific, but what I do have is a selection of woods. We have some ash, English ash from Yorkshire. We have some plywood, some birch ply. I've got some purple heart, which I've cut into a very thin veneer and a thicker piece just to see if it goes through. I've got some holm oak, which is very thinly cut, but thought that might be quite interesting. I've got two pieces of monkey puzzle. I'll use some solution on one and not on the other. I've got two pieces of boxwood, and we'll do a test on end grain and we'll do a test on the side grain. Got a piece of poplar. Again, we'll try that. Two pieces of sapele. And the one that we all expect to work really well will be the brown oak, which I've cut not too thin, but we'll do that. And what I'll try to do, just to make it more of a test, when I put the solution on, I'm going to put a piece of tape over it, and I shall ebonize this piece here, and I'll leave this piece free, and then after a short while I shall remove the tape, and we should have a nice clear line of sight as to how the ebonizing is working. I don't expect it to fully ebonize in the time, all of this, but we'll give it a go, and we'll see what kind of results we get. Right, I'm just going to bring this up on my screen so I can see the live chat in front of me. Apologies, then I can turn my phone off. You can keep me entertained in the chat while I play around on the screen. Right, on the desk, sorry. Richard, so apologies, I do have your camera and bits and pieces, and as promised, I'll chuck in a few of these few truck pigs as well, just for fun. But I will get that in the post. COVID's kind of got in the way, mate. So really sorry about the delay to the start of your live streaming career. But you know, once it's come, I might as well give up. So you know, looking forward to seeing you live, mate. Sorry, I'm part of the delay. Right. But it's all there just to wind you up even more, right? It's all there. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. So the instructions, let's have a look at the instructions now. I did say to a few people I am going to get a razor blade out, so just bear with me. That's probably the most dangerous thing you're going to see tonight. And maybe we should read these together. Let's see if I can get this in focus. Right. So the first thing, sandwood to ideally no finer than 400 grit. So a lot of this wood here is about 180 grit to 240 grit, so there should be no issues with the fluid soaking in to the grid. I'm supposed to raise the grain with water and dry sand slightly. I think that's probably fine. Removed a slop on a coat of tannin juice, allow to dry. Slop on some ebonising juice, allow to dry. Repeat steps until desired result is achieved. Remember that this could change dramatically when you get to the next step. Finish using your chosen method of oil. Works a treat to pop the ebonising and bring to life. Abrasive paste and sanding sealers look jolly spiffing too. Take photos, put the kettle on, brag on social media, not forgetting to tag Staffordshire Black. Well, we'll have a go. Let's see how it works out, shall we? So, how big are these bottles? That's 500ml, and that's 500ml. I'm going to put it on with a brush, and I'm going to put it onto the dry wood as it stands. Everything okay in the stream? Right. So, just for everyone else, I do have my tea here. This is salt and pepper chips from the Golden Wok Chinese, and some satay sauce to dip that in. So if you hear a little bit of munching in the background, that's what you'll hear. What shade of black is that black? Staffordshire Black. Right. What should we do first? Oh, by the way, this is a not very well turned. I don't even know what that says. What does that say? Made by Adam. Okay, and a little heart. Oh, not cute. So yeah, it's just a bit of sweet chestnut, but I've got a lot of sweet chestnut available to me here for next to nothing. There's quite a few sweet chestnut coppice woods close by, and it's green, but it's quite nicely green because they lay it out for firewood before splitting. So I might well do a fair amount of that if right. So slop it says. So let's slop a bit of that in there. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like tea. Right, smell test. I'm not drinking it. Right, has no smell whatsoever. Odourless. Now that's a surprise, but quite a welcome one. This is where I need to remember and make sure I use the same brush. Sorry, just turning off the tube on the phone. Right, let's get this on here, just so you can see hopefully how much I'm putting on. Let's see if I can get that to shine in the lights. Slop, slop, slop. Let's say 3 full brushes of this tiny little brush, but right. I'm going to leave that to dry. Where should we go next? Should we do the we'll do the ply. This one's going to change colour a bit with it, so that's going to have a bit of an effect anyway, just the wetness. Good thing. The one good thing so far though, it doesn't smell. Now I can't say that the ebonising juice, I think that's three brushfuls. Let's get the sapele. Actually, let's do the poplar, and then we've done 3 quite white and boring, relatively boring woods, haven't we? Although that ash is lovely from Yorkshire, it's got some real, the large lump that I bought from Snainston has some beautiful spalting in it. Not spalting, just has beautiful grain in it. Slop. Slop, 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 slop. Slop, slop, slop. How's the picture, guys? Is the picture any good? Is that picture any good? Looks quite good to me. Right. I think I've nailed the pitch. I've nailed the cameras, by the way. The sound not so much. Right. So we've got those 3. Let's quickly move on. This is part of a monkey puzzle branch. I'm really interested in this. I'm kind of hoping this doesn't go jet black, but also in some respects hoping it does, because this could be a really cool effect. And as it's one of my favourite woods to turn, quite looking forward to see how this might work out. Volume is low. Wow. Just so happens I can do something about that. How's the volume now, Steve? Although you'd probably all now got your volume turned up to max at 20 to 10. Yeah, you're all more sensible than me. I don't think any of you have got babies in the house, right? Whereas I have. So, that's why I'm in the garage at 20 to 10 at night. Anyway, right. Should we go through? I think I've got some kind of system going here. Everything on the right hand side isn't done. Everything on the left hand side is. So let's see if we can. There are some little solids in here. Are they solids? Now, I would say that I did buy this a while ago, but there's no best before label on it. So that's okay. And I am going to say, yes, this isn't the most attractive looking bowl you've ever seen. But then this was just a bit of a giggle, trying to get my hand back in, trying to test sweet chestnut. And you know, I'm not a professional wood turner. Right, so let's just, let's take that right up to the edge if we can. I mean, I know I'm prolonging the agony here, guys, right, because, and girls, because I know you're all dying to see the second half, which is the ebonising fluid go on. But the more we do this way, the more we can see the second half. Right, I've got another bit just to slop on. I'm putting it on as even as I can with this tiny little brush that I chose. I mean, sometimes I just wonder what planet I'm on. Right, okay, right. But the good thing about this bowl was I didn't finish it. So that seems to be changing. That's interesting. Right. I was tempted to try the ebonising fluid on the oak without any tannin fluid, and I might do that. That could be a reasonable little test, I think. Right, now we've got some quite nice, I hasten to add, purple heart that I used to make some rolling pins with last year. You can't see the colour that side, but yeah, it's really quite nice stuff. I got it from Styles and Bates. I wouldn't have it other than someone commissioned me to make some rolling pins, and I had a little bit left over. Right, 3 slops, 2, 3. That's the careful, careful, careful. Right, and this is the first of the thin, strips. And I cut these thin. On my new bandsaw, courtesy of Simon Hope. Just thought I'd throw that in. It's alright, I know Simon's never watching, so he can't be embarrassed by the fact that he knows he's the only place I buy woodworking equipment from pretty much these days. So, and that you all think that's funny. Right, so 3 slops of that. I want to see if it'll come through the back and how deep. That might give us an impression of how deep it is going into the wood, but you know, who knows, right? Love that, Barry. How's the old lathe, the new lathe going? Sorry, I assume you've got rid of the old one by now. Steve's looking for a new lathe, by the way. Well, he keeps telling everyone he is. This is a really, I don't know how I cut it that veneer that thin, but anyway, I did manage to. If I didn't mention on my new bandsaw, which actually did me an injury today, so I've learnt a lesson today to wear a face shield at all times. I did get hit in the face in preparation for this earlier on today by a relatively large piece of extremely dry English boxwood. I suppose it serves me right in a way for being pretentious enough to have some English boxwood and think I'm good enough to turn it, but on the other hand, when you can get it, someone told me, get it, so it was on offer to me, so I thought, right, well, I'm going to buy that. So here we go, one more slop. We're almost there, I've just got the boxwood to do and the English oak. So I'm going to do a whole end of English boxwood. That's just a small branch. So I'm just going to give that a complete coating. This is an interesting one. I'm doing it because I thought, well, if this ebonizes well, it could be an absolutely amazing finish, is how I thought. And if it, depending on how dark and black it goes, it could almost be like black glass, the way that you can finish ebony. But let's see. Right, that's that piece. Right, let's do the boxwood side grain. Just going to do this bit at the top. So we'll just go here around the top. I'm going to show off in a minute. Well, I'm not showing off really with this esteemed company that's on here. But finally got my uni chasers to work. Even though I do think that I bought uni chasers that the TPA is far too small. But let's have a look. Look at those. Oh, I was a little bit rough there, but I'm slowly getting the hang of it. Oh, look at that. Right. So monkey puzzle, we've got poplar, plywood, ash, monkey puzzle, sapellis, purple hearts, got to do the home oak next, and we've done the sweet chestnut, we've done the boxwood. Right, just bear with me for a second, I need a little bit more tape. There we go. Just by magic, found some frog tape. That'll do. In fact, it's probably better than the gaffer tape that I've just used. Anyway, oop. Almost spilt my sachet sauce then. So let's. So we're going to do on this piece, on the brown oak. We're going to slop. We're going to slop some, and then we're going to leave a dry bit and just put ebonising solution, slop, ebonising solution on its own. So tannin juice and ebonising juice and nothing. So let's get the tannin juice on. This is brown oak. Slop, slop, slop. I'm done with all the others. 3 lots of slop. I do like that word. I do like that word. Right, and this is a very, very pretty piece of wood. It's a bit punky in places. It's caused me some damage over the years also. Over the last year. I had a beautiful piece of it that flew off the lathe and I made a right mess of it, and was really upset about it at the time, but it's just a learning experience. Shan't make the mistake again. Right, so I think that's all the woods. Now, is there any other wood that anyone is interested to see Staffordshire Black trying? Okay, Barry. Well, good luck with that. Oh, I am missing a piece. I cut some spalted beech. Where's that gone? There we go. Nice piece of spalted beech. Of course, it already has black lines on it, but I just thought, let's give it a go. Ash juniper. Now, Robin, if I knew another name for juniper, I might have some, but I'm not sure that I do. Or is ash juniper? Is ash juniper the name of the wood? I know juniper berries, so I assume juniper berries come from juniper bush, tree. There we go, 3 lots of slop on there. Wow, look at that. Can you see how that's bled through there? So I put that tape on and I just slopped it on this side, but look, it's crept all the way over here. It's going to be quite tricky to be accurate with this, isn't it? Look at how it's bled all the way through and under. Let's just have a look. Look at that. Now that could have been caused by me with the tape, of course, with the capillary action underneath. Big word for a Sunday. But, oh, cedar, 2 secs. Now, I thought I did have some cedar. more sweet chestnut. Ash, oak, what's that? Lime. Okay, well, I didn't expect to be turning the bandsaw on. I don't know where my cedar's gone. I did have a fair amount of it, but it does smell so nice that, yeah, I don't know. So, got a piece of yew. Nice little bit of yew there, so I thought, well, why not? Let's just put some of that on. Could try a bit of base pine, I suppose, but I think I'm pretty much... Steve-o. Hey, Steve. Or Steve-A, I should say. Bloody hell, the weather is terrible outside. You know. I wasn't swearing, by the way. Right. Right, I think I'm done. Should I be testing anything else? Can it ebonize anything that isn't wood? I don't know. Wow, heavens have opened. Let me see. No, I think that's probably it. Okay. Well, here's a little test. Don't know why I'm doing this, but a bit of brown cardboard. Let's just put some on and see what happens to that brown cardboard. Right, good. So, ebonising time. I think apart from that, it's not drying very particularly quickly, is it? So, does it need to dry? Allow to dry, right. So, anyone got any good jokes? But I think I'm probably going to turn on the heater. Let me put that somewhere where it isn't going to spill. There. Let's turn on the just turning on the old Dyson heater next to me. So tannin juice step done. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on step 5. Ebonising juice. All sounds very tasty. Well, as I said earlier, there's no smell. So none of these would have any kind of smell in addition to what was on them previously. They're good, mate. Really good. Really, really good. And if you weren't hungry before, you probably are now. Apologies if you can apologies if you can hear me eating in the background. I'm really sorry about that. Well, I'm not, but I just had a thought. I'm not operating any mechanical equipment, so I can use some ebonising juice of my own. I know you're all desperate to see my face, aren't you? But I'm not going to be showing my scar off tonight. Did he, Barry? What did you end up bringing home, other than the lathe? Did you get a new chuck? Right, I'm gonna try and fast track some of this. So it's quite interesting actually. The ash has dried. This has actually gone down 3 layers of ply. It's sunk in. So it's quite penetrating, but it just looks like water. Sorry, tea. Just looks like tea. But it doesn't smell of tea. Right. Let's get a different brush. Cross-contamination of these fluids is a big deal. Never tip anything. I was warned by the manufacturer when I spoke to him when I first bought this months ago. Never to cross. Don't ever try and pour anything back into the bottle. So I know I've put far too much liquid in there, but here we have another slightly coloured liquid. I mean, yeah, doesn't remind me of anything particularly. Woo! So that does smell. Anyone want to guess what that smells like? Smells like my fish and chips did yesterday lunchtime. Right, so let's smells put that here. And we'll try and do this in. That is taking forever. The hardwoods are taking ages to dry. The others are not. So right. So let's do the same. Let's. It says to slop this on. Yes. Yeah, it does. It smells just like my fish and chips did yesterday. So let's see what happens. Right. 1, 2, 3. Relatively well slopped on. It's not a bad picture, that, is it? That's come out quite nicely. Right, so let's go and slop on here. Slop, slop, slop. Oh, interesting. Looks like some woods do react quite quickly. Look, the side started to change colour already. So, and this is the poplar. Let's just give the poplar a coat. There we go. Relatively the same amount I've put on both times. What I'll do is, if not a lot happens in the next 30 minutes, I will I'll give it another application of tannin juice tonight after I've closed the live. We'll come and have a look tomorrow, and I might start another 10 or 15 minutes up. Hey Mike. So, monkey puzzle. Let's give the monkey puzzle a go. So this is end grain, obviously, whereas the others haven't been end grain so far. I want to give this a proper go, so yeah, if I have a live tonight and I have another live tomorrow, we'll see what the difference is in 24 hours, won't we? And I promise I'll leave everything exactly where it is so that we can compare before and after. Let's get this. This is yew, a little bit of yew branch. This piece wasn't sanded, this was just cut straight off the bandsaw. It had the tannin juice. Yeah, really strong smell of vinegar or some kind of light acid. Yeah. Right, we'll leave those. Boxwood is pretty much dried, so we'll get on and overpaint some boxwood. I am slightly beating the clock here by doing this before it's fully dried, but okay. This is the holm oak. Actually, we'll leave. Yeah, I don't think that's real oak, is it? Holm oak, or is it? Someone in the chat will know better than me. What I am interested to know is it the solution that reacts with itself to become black? Well, these are definitely These are definitely changing colour. Let's give this a bit round here. This is boxwood. Honestly, I don't expect there to be too dramatic a change in colour there, but we'll see. Right. So this is oak, holm oak. Sorry, brown oak. Dry that off a little bit. Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. It's quite a walk in the dark back to my house from here. So I could do with the fewer demons, the better. Between here and my back door, the better. So that's the brown oak, and then this is with the tannin juice. And this is the brown oak, just with ebonising fluid. Okay, let's place that somewhere appropriate. I get the feeling this might take some time to develop, so we might be doing a second one tomorrow. This is the spalted beech. Spalted beech, let's put the spalted beech here, like that. Turn the boxwood, let's turn the boxwood around to here. This is the sweet chestnut. Just giving that a dry off for a second, just to take a little bit more out. There is definitely some development of colour. Wouldn't say it's overly dramatic at this point. Although in the sweet chestnut, you can definitely see, wow, look at that, the sweet chestnut looks like, is sweet chestnut high in tannins, guys and girls? Should I have expected that result? That pretty much changed colour as I as I put that one in. Well, let's do a wider test then, because I didn't put any of the tanning fluid on the rim. Well, that one has got quite a dramatic turn on that one. I'm just going to dry out a little bit in the middle. Right, so next, Purple Heart. Purple Heart. Let's have a go. I mean, I don't think anyone in their right mind is really going to use ebonising fluid on Purple Heart, right? But, you know, because I've got some in the shop, why not test it? This is Sapele. So what I assume is happening is what the manufacturer said would happen. It does seep quite into the wood, so the fluid is quite penetrative. Manufacturer said that this would happen. There would end up being some cross-contamination in the fluid. I don't know if you remember what it was like when I first started, but it wasn't that colour. Still smells vinegary. Now, the other side of this is I assume that to develop the colours further, if I want to go to the next level of ebonising, I should probably give it another coat of tannin solution to increase the tannin levels and then potentially increase the ability of this carrier to take effect. So, have I done everything? Let's just check. Have I done everything? I've done yew, so ash, plywood. Interesting how that's changed. Poplar, which again has changed to some effect. This is the yew. Boxwood, yeah, it's not gone a particularly pleasant colour so far, but let's give it the benefit of the doubt with time. I mean, I don't think there's a great deal of surprise that the brown oak, that's the brown oak with ebonising fluid, that's the brown oak without ebonising fluid, without tanning fluid, and to be honest, the ebonising fluid is having quite the similar effect. Pretty underwhelming on the old holly oak or holm oak. It's It's not very focused, is it? See if I can get it in focus. Yeah, not particularly great. Even the camera doesn't like it. Then the sweet chestnut, dependent on how that goes, that looks like it could develop into something quite interesting. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Richard. I think the and of course I can try the other ends, so what I will do is probably, well, actually I can just turn these blocks over and do the other side, and so I might put, after I've done this tonight, I haven't used the same brush, by the way, I have used a different brush. This is the tanning solution, if you recall. Oh yeah, cardboard. Here's the cardboard. Right. Let me dry, I can fully dry the cardboard, that would take a minute. Here's the cardboard. That's perfectly dry now. Yes, guys, I think you're right. So before I leave tonight at the workshop, I'm going to quickly turn these over and work the other ends, and I'll put some fresh tanning solution on the other ends, and then in the second part of this, I'll bring those back and we can try again, but I think it's worthwhile trying this way first as well. So let's see what happens here with a fully dried piece of cardboard. Right. So before I go over these with a second coat, I am now going to we're going to slop really quickly for tomorrow. On the back of these, tanning fluid. So this is the tanning fluid, not the ebonising. And then by tomorrow that can have dried. It's like watching paint dry. To be fair, I don't think I need to do the brown oak again, because that one, the brown oak does seem to, as we would all suspect, be the most luckily I do have another piece of monkey puzzle. We shall be able to repeat this live, but having allowed it to dry fully tomorrow, and then hit it with some fresh ebonising solution. and see what the difference is. Right, this one we have to remember that I've painted the same side but the other end with tanning solution. And boxwood. Interesting how the boxwood actually seems to have seeped through the whole piece. I can't believe that, but maybe it is so dry that it's managed to come all the way through to the other side, but I'm very surprised if that's the case. That can go there. See, it is having an impact on that, look. That is definitely a grey as opposed to what it was before. But let's paint the back with some. And we shall let this dry. And then tomorrow we can do two things. I can repaint the ones we've done tonight, these sides. I can redo those with tannin juice tomorrow, or ebonising solution, whichever one we think is the most appropriate. It's definitely worked though, look, the cardboard, look at the cardboard. There's definitely colour there, right? It's not just wet, that's colour. So, but then you could say, there's colour too. So, is it ebonising the wood? Or is it changing the properties of this, which then darkens the wood? I don't know. Don't know. I suspect that's the whole point, right? The tanning solution soaks into the wood. The ebonising solution, once it's soaked in, changes the chemical properties of the tannin solution in the wood, which also changes the wood's properties. I guess that's the point. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow, and we can test it again fully dried. And we're almost getting to, it's almost scientific, because we've got our control. We've got our method of not following the instructions, but following them at the same time, doing things in the right order, but not necessarily playing the notes in all the right order, not necessarily in the right time. Who's that? That's a Morecambe and Wise, isn't it? Right. I mean, that, I'm not convinced about the boxwood. Even if we do it right, I'm not convinced that's going to work, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll try again tomorrow. Have I missed any? I think I got them all. I think I've got them all. I think I've got all the other ends. Yeah, all the other ends going. The only one I didn't do was the sweet chestnut, but something tells me that's going to go anyway, isn't it? But I think that's that and the brown oak. Kind of the two most successful. I quite like this dark charcoal grey colour. Quite like this dark. Was it Les Dawson with Morecambe and Wise? I thought Morecambe and Wise did it as well. But the bucket chemist in me wants to throw the whole bucket at this piece. Maybe I just need to leave it to develop, I think. I'm just going to paint these bits that I didn't manage to get last time. If you look at the contrast though, it is definitely working. And it's hard to know, isn't it? It's hard to know. You wouldn't expect them to. You wouldn't expect them to. They don't give you the ingredients. I certainly wouldn't expect them to, and I certainly wouldn't ask them. I'm just going to have a quick look. Let's just have a quick look at what it says on the side of the bottle. I don't know what they're trying to say. Are they trying to say we're hoity-toity push folk for wanting it? Or anyway, ideal for woodworkers of all types, including turners, carvers, ebonising recipes. What does it say? Souped up. Traditional ebonising recipes using homegrown, secret and not so secret ingredients from the heart of the leafy English countryside. Not to be confused with stains, dyes or paint. Ebonising changes the actual chemical makeup of wood cells, and depending on timber and final finish, okay, well, it's actually easier to read if I hold it up there and I read the screen, because my eyesight is terrible at the moment. Okay, so no list of ingredients. To be expected, and I wouldn't expect them to be given out either. So, and I wouldn't ask for them. There are alternatives. I've seen Richard Findlay's method, which I'd heard about before. I'm only calling it his method because it's the one that I've seen done most recently online, which is wire wool vinegar, and he just paints that straight onto brown oak, and it changes the character straight to ebonised. Yeah, I'm interested to know what the heart of the leafy ingredients from the heart of the leafy English countryside. I'm quite interested to know what they are, but again, I'm not going to ask. Well, I guess we don't need to know because we're not putting it on our chips. However, does it say food safe? No, it doesn't. Does it say not food safe? No, it doesn't. The tanning stuff isn't tea. It doesn't smell of tea. That's the ancient method. It doesn't smell anything of tea. It has no smell whatsoever. The tanning liquid looks like tea, but it doesn't smell like it, and I won't be tasting it. It could be a brew made from dried oak leaves, Richard. You are quite correct. You may well be onto something. Yeah, or it could be a straight chemical. What do they use for tanning in the leather industry? I mean, I know it's particularly horrendous, right, and not good for your health, but sorry guys, I'm eating my chips. I'm working my way down them slowly. It's probably the best thing you've seen all night. Oh, what else have I got to show you? Well, in time-honoured history of my lives and them going off on a tangent, I'm going to leave all these things exactly here overnight. So wherever I leave this shot, I will try and make sure we recreate it tomorrow. But I would say this purchase has been brilliant. I love this. This bar, it's a bad boy. I love it. I don't know if I've got enough puff left in my... Oh, there we go. Sounds good too, right? It's yeah, that's enough at this time of night. But yeah, no, that's a beaut. I haven't used it properly yet in anger. I have to find the right time of day. But I'm really impressed with this piece of kit here. For £19.99 including delivery and VAT, including the Euro fitting on the end, and it's really nice quality. It comes with a 1/4 inch and an 1/8. The compressor's doing really well, Tommy. That was it running on whatever charge was left. Yeah, it's doing okay. I've got a power, it's a quite reasonably sized power craft. But yeah, no, it's doing okay. But yeah, that's quite liking that, and relatively cheap in comparison to some. I think I paid 18 quid for it, including delivery. So looking forward to using that at some point. That's the new tool. Well, apart from the other new tool, which is this new tool, which I've had a couple of runs with it. I haven't yet, as you might imagine, got the hang of it. But yeah, that's it's working. It did work all right. But I think I need a longer handle. This thing's like tiny handle, and it's a 19mm or 16mm bar. I think it's a 16mm bar that goes back into the handle here. So I'm just going to put it into a Simon Hope handle, longer handle. You need a round tapered file, and then you just round the top. But yeah, it looks impressive. Yeah, that's about as it does Barry. It does Tommy, right? It looks impressive on my wall, much like your Proform, your woodcut Proform Hollower looks really good on your wall. this looks really good on my wall at the moment, and I'll try it a few times. I need green wood, I think, really to get it going, but yeah, that's doing really well, isn't it? Really, really well. Look, while I've got you knowledgeable folk on here, right? I bought this at the I bought this at Makers, right, for £8, right? And you know, just because it's a Crown tool, it's good steel. It was well worth £8. The lady that was selling it had no idea at all what it is. So, can someone please enlighten me as to what this tool is used for? This is how she bought it. She tells me, from the manufacturer, and you can tell it hasn't been changed, right, or sharpened from what I can tell. Although there is a little bit of discolouring there, and that wasn't me. But I mean, all I can think is it's some kind of skew. But what the heck is it, and how do you use that? It feels like a really long flat though. I mean, that's quite some. Well, I don't know. What have I got here? Yeah. So it's an inch. It's an inch. And it just doesn't, somehow, something just doesn't feel right. I don't know. I can't work out how you get the planing cut. You know, with a skew you'd be cutting down here, right? You'd be using this edge here. And if you went up there you'd get caught. But with a bead down, you're cutting on the end, aren't you? So you'd be turning the bead on the end. And might try some kind of, oh, I don't know. I didn't get it off Leona, Richard, I promise. But I did get it off another lady present at the Makers. And it seems like a really nice solid tool. It's just, yeah, I'd like to see someone using it. I really would like to see someone using it, because I'm honest, I don't get it. I could have a go with it, and I could do some scraping on the end, and might make some coves, I guess, out of that, and things like that. But feels like it should do something special. It should have some special purpose for this lovely steel. And this bar's what, 10mm thick? It's a fairly old chunky piece. So yeah, I need to see someone using that. Well, that's it, I think, for tonight. This is oh look, there's that little dab that I put on just a few minutes ago. Tiny little dab that I put on. So maybe I should just, before we go tonight, I should just give this a coat all the way around, and then we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Quite looking forward to coming back in the morning and seeing what the fruits of the labour have been. As I say, it's a shame in some respects that I hadn't finished this properly, but you know, sweet walnuts, firewood round, sweet chestnuts, firewood round here, so it's I can get huge, relatively clean pieces of it that are green, but not high percentage green. Something tells me these are going to need an extra coat of tannin juice when they've dried, and an extra coat of ebonising. These are all still damp, so I'm not going to go for them. The U's turned quite well, hasn't it? The U does seem to be taking the ebonising process quite well, and I guess so is this. And you know, what we've got to think about is, if this was a bowl and it was finished to a relatively high grit, then polished up, it's going to look quite different. So I mean, we're really looking at the colour change here. And some of that is in, you know, it is relatively wet still, so it'll be more interesting to see when it's dry what it looks like. As I say, the boxwood is not impressing me at all. It seems like probably a waste of wood if I continue in that vein. Right. Not a lot else to say, really, apart from hasta la vista. Richard, I'll get if you're still here, I'll get your package off to you sometime tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll have it relatively quickly after that, hopefully. And we'll restart this tomorrow. Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah. I'm feeling a fair bit better. The family in the house, Jen's still not great, and Laurie's not great, but we're hanging in there. Right, good. I think that's it, and I shall love you all and leave you all. Thank you for turning up, also, Robin. Right, nice to chat, and I'll leave you all with this last picture of this evening's events. Just have a quick look at this. You can see that changing before your very eyes. But that has yeah, I'd say that has worked phenomenally well, as has the oak, as you would expect, right? But right, good night everybody, signing off. Robin, it was just a test, that's all that is. It was just a test for me, and I just did some grooves, but the colours are nice, eh? See you later, Dal. Love your site, mate. Love watching your videos. Thank you for joining. Should just put that into the picture. Right, this is how we shall start off tomorrow. Should leave everything as it is. Right. Cheers everybody.